Sorry, I don't
Okay.
know what happened.
It's fine. All right. So we have from El Paso, we have Bruce McComas, who is an entrepreneur by nature, helped start a software company to help kids read, has a degree in physics from the University of Texas. And so we're so happy that he gets to join us today to give his experience of the product and also his insight, especially with his scientific mind that he has and his background. And so the time is all yours, Bruce.
Okay. Again, I'm Bruce McComas, and I want to tell you my experience has been real good with this product. In April of last year, a year ago, last month, I got COVID and I got over it, but I had the symptoms of long COVID. I don't know if you're familiar with long COVID, but it's where you're just exhausted all the time and your brain is not functioning very well. It's like you have brain fog all the time. And the doctor I use also had long COVID and didn't know what, she couldn't get over it. And so what happened after about 4.5 months, I tried everything I could think of. I just thought my productive life is over. I can't do anything anymore except rest and sit in front of the TV. And we had two ladies that we know, that my wife knows, that came over and brought the ACTIVZ products and told us about ACTIVZ. So I told my wife, I've got nothing to lose. Let's try them. So we got ACTIVZ. I didn't know a lot about them. I just wanted to try anything. And about 10 days later, I started getting my energy back. And then it just kept coming. And pretty soon, I was at full energy. In fact, better than I had been before COVID. But the other thing that had happened during that 4+ months is I got depressed because when you can't do anything and you're feeling worthless, I was depressed. And all of a sudden, not only did I get energy back, but I started feeling wonderful. My brain was functioning in a way I felt great. And I didn't know how depressed I was until I got on the trifecta and started feeling wonderful. And then it just kept getting better. And so after we started in October of last year, so I just kept feeling better and better. I wanted to do things. When I was not doing well, people were telling me, you should exercise. That will help you. That was the furthest thing I could do. There is no way I could have exercised. It was a hard enough job just to get out of bed. So I started feeling so good, I wanted to exercise. And so all these things started coming together. But other things started getting better as well. I've always suffered from respiratory illnesses, very susceptible to colds and viruses that come along. And we live in El Paso, we have winds, high winds. And when the winds come, it carries dust and pollen. So every day that it was a windy day, I would get sick. Now, I wouldn't get like terribly sick, but I would have sinus headaches. I would be sneezing. I would cough and I couldn't sleep well. And the allergy medicine did not take it away. I took allergy medicine. It didn't take away my symptoms. And if you understand allergies, what allergies do is they bring down your whole system. You don't fight off stuff well because of the allergies. And so here we came into the change of season, October, November's when I would start getting sick. And I would sometimes stay sick for 6 or 8 weeks. And I would go to a doctor. They would help me. They'd give me medication, but I couldn't sleep at night because I would be coughing all night. So that's been a long-term problem. Well, on ACTIVZ, come November, I didn't get sick. And my wife told me, you know, you're usually sick by Thanksgiving. I didn't get sick. Thanksgiving came and went. I said, great, that's wonderful. By Christmas, I was always sick, no sickness. And it went on. January, no problem. Now we're into the spring winds in El Paso, where it's blowing 30, sometimes 45 miles an hour gusts, and it carries a lot of dust. You look it up in the sky and it looks brown. And I don't have any allergies. I don't have any allergy symptoms at all. And I just cannot believe it. But one of the other things that happened after I'd been on for about 5 months, I had gone in to get my eyes checked to my normal optometrist. And I told the optometrist that I was struggling to drive at night because the car lights and other lights were almost blinding me. And the glare was keeping me from seeing the road. And they told me I had cataracts and I needed to go in soon for cataract surgery. Now, this was about 3.5 months after I started taking the trifecta. And so I waited. I don't know why. I just kind of put off the surgery because I like to put off surgery. But about a month later, I'm driving at night, which I'd been avoiding, but I couldn't avoid it anymore. I had to go somewhere at night. I drove at night and I saw no glare, none. I'm driving with my wife and I'm going, Hilda, I don't see any glare. Is this temporary? What's going on? So what I did, and what I started, by the way, I started doing this right after I started feeling good. I wanted to know why. Why am I feeling good? Now, in the past, I've had other medical problems, but I have 30 hours of college chemistry. I have a physics degree. I went to graduate school in physics. I told myself years ago, if I can't figure things out by reading, what was the point in all of this education? So I started reading a long time ago to help myself. And I started figuring out things that helped me. And so I did the same thing. I started feeling so good and my brain was working so good. I started doing research. I wanted to know why it felt so good. I didn't want to go to the ACTIVZ website to do research because I thought, well, sure, they're going to show me everything for ACTIVZ that would make them look good. So I started going into Google and other things, into PubMed, and I started finding out about Dr. Joe McCord. And by the way, there's a lot out on him, even if you don't go through the ACTIVZ to research. And I discovered the superoxide dismutase. I discovered how he learned. I discovered where he got his degree, how he was a pharmaceutical professor at the University of Colorado. I started learning about the things he was talking about. I learned about Protandim, but I also started looking in PubMed, and I'm a real good researcher. That's one of the things I learned to do. And I loved looking at PubMed to figure out what was going on with my brain and with my energy. And I found out ACTIVZ was telling me the truth. They were coming straight up about everything they were telling me was right in the research. I then wanted to know, why did my cataracts get better? So I went to PubMed and I looked up NRF2 activation and cataracts. And there's a lot of research, as you might guess. And I found out what causes cataracts. Now, I know you all are going to not be surprised, but it's oxidative stress, right out of what we teach. It's oxidative stress. And then I found out that NRF2 activation ameliorates cataracts. Well, if you don't know what that means it makes it better. It does two things. It prevents cataracts if you don't have them. And if you do have them, it makes them better. It takes care of them. And I found out what they were, what causes them. And I didn't stop there, because I had an employee who years ago had different eye diseases, and she ended up having to quit. And I wanted to find out, could I have helped her years ago with these products? And I found out I could have. If I had known about these products, I could have helped her. And I think, wow, how many people need these products? And then I can tell you that my wife and I lost a good friend about 6 years ago, maybe not quite that long, with ALS. I don't know if you're familiar with ALS. So I found out, I looked up NRF2 activation and ALS, and guess what? It helps. It also can help with that. So I found out there are 200 diseases, which you all know, but I did not know any of this. And I started talking to my friends. So many of them have these age onset problems, chronic issues, high blood pressure, diabetes, kidney problems. And we started helping a nurse, and the nurse works in Juarez across the border in Mexico. And we told her about genomics, and she signed up. And at their clinic, they have a lot of people with kidney dialysis. They go in for 3 times a week. And she started giving her kidney patients genomics. And so we keep up with that. We want to know, how are they doing? Tell me what's going on. And what she said was, they get better. And she says that genomics does the same thing as chelation. Now, I've had chelation in the past. What she tells her patients and her patients' families is, your kidneys are like filters, like any filter. And when the filter gets clogged up, they don't work as well. And she said, what happens with genomics is it starts unclogging the filters. I have no idea how it does it, but she says they know it does that. So this has so many things. Let me tell you one other thing. My dad died of colon cancer when he was I'm 77. My dad was 77 when he died. I found out butyric acid. Again, I did a lot of research on all the products. You all probably know this, but butyric acid protects the colon from colon cancer. And if you have cancer cells, it kills them. It kills the cancer cells, but it not only kills them, it kills them in a good way so they can't spread. There's a good way to kill cells and there's a bad way to kill cells. It kills them in the most positive way. So I've had a lot of colon issues in the past. When I read that, I couldn't believe it, because I've had some of my colon removed in the past, and I've had difficulties that I thought I could end up like my father. He had a lot of the symptoms, and so did his father. So I am now feel protected. Okay. So this stuff is amazing. And I've had other things. I was having to, I'm 77. I was having to get up and go to the bathroom at night about 3 times. Now I get up once. I don't know if you all understand the difficulty with the prostate and why, when you get older, these things happen. Now I don't have to do that. I am sleeping so well. But the other thing I can tell you is my brain is working. I can remember things. I have no brain fog at all. And I was suffering from brain fog even before I got COVID. And now there's no brain fog. I can think clearly all the time. So I just want to tell you that this product has changed my life. I have a purpose again. I can do things. So my goal was to help other older people that have retired have a purpose in life that can bring them health and help other people be healthy. And I'd been praying for that, to be honest with you, for anyway, about 2 years. And when this product came along, I am so thankful. I am so thankful that Dr. McCord made the discovery he made, and that this team has put this together with Al Zapp and everyone. And I just love helping and giving this word and trying to help others do what it's done for me. And I just want to thank you all for being there and for running this, helping this company grow. And I would be happy to answer any questions I could if anybody has any questions.
Anyone has any questions for Bruce? I mean, I'm amazed. Wow, that was awesome. Any questions for Bruce?
Hey, Steve, Karen Myers had one in the chat.
Oh. Are you just talking about normal dosage? What is your dosage, or how many of the products do you take, Bruce?
Okay, I normally just take the standard dosage, but if I feel a headache coming on, I take a couple of Optimum. And if I think I am maybe getting a little allergy, I increase, I take 2 genomics, maybe for a couple of days. But I've really stuck with pretty much the basic recommendation.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Hope that answers your question, Karen. Any other questions for Bruce?
I have kind of a comment question. This is Diane.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a wonderful testimony. This is just wonderful. So I'm curious if your kidney doctor knew about the, because we had a fellow that went from 5% to 100% with his kidney function in 4 days.
You're kidding.
No, I actually hosted that call. It's actually recorded. We'll have to look that up for you, and so you can show it to your kidney physician. But, you know, I wonder if she's aware of, like you had mentioned, just the genomics, but you're on all 3, right?
Yes, I've been on all 3 the whole time, and
Yeah.
Arrow.
Yeah, awesome. Me too. I love Arrow. I love it all. But yeah, with the this is so good for the kidneys, but with the link, how it helps the endothelial cells and helps the kidney come back as well. But that's so cool that she said that to you. So
yeah.
Yeah.
But she's a little bit hesitant to give them Link and Optimum, and I can't. They're very, very conservative.
Right.
So I would love to see that testimony.
Okay.
And she's now, she's a distributor.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know.
Here, I'll put my camera on. Oh, that's so wonderful. We just bless you. This is a great testimony. You're spreading the word. Good news. Yeah. And no, it's in one of the, it's in, I think it's April of last year. Yeah.
That,
And I hosted
and
it. So,
do
mhm.
you know roughly what the age of the patient was that had the
You know,
kidney problem?
I don't know he probably maybe like in his 50s, but I know I
Okay.
have his wife's number. I can certainly get that information. And
Okay. Well,
is
no, I
it
don't, I just roughly, I just didn't know if he was,
maybe
in his
50,
80s or
60?
something.
And no, not that late in life. Yeah.
Okay. Well, a lot of my friends have kidney issues, and it usually starts with diabetes.
Yeah.
They have diabetes. It then hurts the kidneys over a long period of time with diabetes, and then they start getting heart problems. So there's a progression that I learned about on PubMed that I did not know. And so often the, the, all right. So what happens if you have diabetes and you're not controlling your glucose, all right, and your kidneys start having a problem? It's more complicated, evidently. I don't understand it, but the first thing we have to do is get your brain working. That sounds weird, doesn't it? But so you can think about what you're eating. You can think, and you're not just reacting. And so what she told me, what this doctor told me, is the first thing they see with these kidney patients is they start feeling good about themselves and life. And their families tell the doctor they like being around this person now because they're not so irritable.
Yeah.
So, but I need to tell her about the other two. So your person that you had a testimonial, were they on the regular amount or did they take extra?
They were in the hospital for 10 days and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with them. And oh, there you go. Thank you, Jerry. And
Yep.
and they got out, and a friend of theirs gave them, just like you, shared about the products. He went on the trifecta, just the trifecta, all three, and went to the doctor. And the next day, and so the doctor took his blood tests and everything the day after the hospital visit, or 10 days in the hospital. So then it took 3 days for her to run the test, through. She called him and said, go back in the hospital. You're only at 5% kidney function. And he said, I'm not going back to the hospital, but I'll come to your office. He went to her office. And this is just one of the most amazing testimonies. But anyway, went to her office and she tested him again. She says, I've never seen this except for in a hospital setting. You are at 100% kidney function.
Oh, that's just, that is phenomenal.
Isn't it great?
I believe the doctor when the doctor said, I've never seen it before. They
Yeah,
don't think you can do that.
I don't, except for in the
I
hospital on
know,
drugs.
but these products are doing things that doctors say can't be done
Yeah.
or that
Yeah.
they've never seen because they don't believe it. They don't believe it's possible.
Yeah. I will share with you really quick. I've had 5 team members who their neuropathy went away, and some of them within a week, and they were just on the trifecta. Some with arrow, but most of them just on the trifecta. So that's
Wow.
another incredible. Anyway, this isn't my testimony call, but I just wanted to
No,
add to
no,
that.
but I love to hear this.
Yeah, we all do. We need to just, spread the good news.
When I was in graduate school in my 20s, I had severe problems. I had ulcers and I had problems. And so I went to a doctor and they did an upper and lower GI. And he told me I had spastic colon and all these other things. He says, you have the most spasticized colon I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And that's when I started doing research and I started learning about vitamins that I could take and the food I should be eating. And it turned around. And I
Wow.
went back 6 months later and he did another upper and lower GI. And he said, you're normal now. And I showed him the research and what I was doing. And he said that has nothing to do with it. And he was a Harvard graduate internist. And I said at that point, when I left the office after that 6-month visit, I said, from now on, I'm going to have to find out how to take care of myself. Doctors are not going to take care of me. And so I've had that attitude and that mindset since in my 20s. I haven't always taken good care of myself. But trifecta makes it a lot easier. It gives
Doesn't
me
it?
energy.
Yeah. Well, they don't really have the education in med school, and just a little bit. And most of them, poo-poo, what our supplements and things like that. But with some of them are in tune, and some of them are getting more educated. Yeah. From people like
Yes.
you. And bless
Yes.
your kidney doctor. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of them are paying attention. I know I'm very active in a church here, and one of the people that I know well is a teaching physician at our medical school here in El Paso. And I've been feeding him information. He'd never heard of Nerf 2. He's never looked at PubMed to see anything. He teaches
Oh,
doctors.
wow.
He
Wow.
knows nothing about helping people eat the right food or take nutrition is not what he's involved with.
Yeah.
And so, but he's curious. He's a young man. He's in his late 30s and he is curious, and I'm feeding him information. I don't know where it's going to go,
Yeah.
but I'm optimistic he's going to learn. There's more to life than listening to the pharmaceutical companies. I will tell you that in Mexico, the doctors in Mexico say, you Americans are slaves to the pharmaceutical industry. That's what they tell us.
Oh, amen, brother, on that one. Yeah. So, and it's
Yep.
getting more, you can just look at the commercials. If I don't
I
watch much
know.
TV, but it's, mhm.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh, this is exciting. Yes. And Karen just said, bless you for, doing your research and on PubMed. And, it's really exciting, especially about your cataracts and all of that. This is just an amazing call. Well, I'll just be quiet here. Let's do
Well, I
Joy's
do
job.
want to tell you, I'm going to go back to my optometrist and let them reevaluate my eyes and see that I don't have cataract, because they could see it. They could tell.
Wow. That's
And cataracts are just calcium deposits
Yeah.
from oxidative stress. And we
Yes.
have polluted air.
Yeah.
My eyes have polluted air around them.
Oh, so exciting. Yeah. My optometrist actually told me that. He goes, I have little teensy tiny ones, but probably from the Nerf 2 has helped it a lot. Yeah.
I agree. How long have you been taking it?
I've been taking an oxidative stress or Nerf 2 for 13 years now. Yeah.
Oh, wow. You
And then
started with Prospendum.
I did. And then of course we're on the very best now. Who wouldn't want to be on
Yeah.
the best, right?
Right.
Yeah, the best
Oh,
team.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And company.
Well, if I can help anybody by talking to anybody in my experience, I'd love to share the good news.
Thank you for offering that. In fact, I'm sure that a lot of people on this call and who listen would love to have your info. It's awesome.
And I print out those abstracts on PubMed and give them out to people I know that are struggling with health issues. I think it helps us to know why we're taking something. And the research makes it more helpful. Our brains are receptive to the good stuff if we know why.
Yeah, backs it up with science.
Yes. Well, Stuart, I don't know if there's anything else. I've got.
Oh, that was amazing. Amazing.
I have a lot more problems than I tell you about, but I can just tell you I'm feeling better. Here's what I'm thinking. if this has happened in 6 months, how am I going to feel in a year taking these products? I can't imagine just keep getting better. But I do tell people that, and they know me. The people that know me see the difference.
That's amazing. Well, what a powerful testimony, and also very powerful message that validates what we all on the call here and so many others in various markets know, that our products work. As you pointed out, you take the product, it works, but you took it a step further. And so for you to share your research and what you did to validate what we all feel is just amazing. And so thank you, Bruce, so much for that, and Diane and everybody else for jumping in. I love these calls because it's hosted by you distributors, and I just love the back and forth and just everybody just sharing their experiences with the products, and then also sharing it with others so they can also experience what you have, and gain
Yes.
a better lifestyle. So that's the key as well. So definitely, Bruce, as you know, these calls are recorded. Jerry
Yes.
did post the link to the call that Diane hosted last year. And so I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be looking up this testimonial call today and show it to people, that has, whether they're problems with their, their cataracts, their eyes, or other parts of their bodies, and things like that. And so this is something that is a good sales tool as well. But more than anything else, validation on what ACTIVZ products can do. So thank you
Yes.
so much, everyone. Bruce, like I said, for stepping up last minute. We're very, very thankful and appreciative of you.
I just hope
we'll-
I can help people get the
Yes.
benefit.
Thank you. Thank you. It was amazing. So thank you. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Okay, bye.